God is good, and with each day that passes brings us a day closer to the launch of Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. This is the Nathan Napalm channel, and if you are new here, please consider subscribing, especially if you're interested in Pantheon related content, old school MMORPGs, etc., because that's what we do here. Guys, today I want to talk about Classic WoW. I want to talk a little bit about why it's so important for Pantheon Rise of the Fallen, but not just that, but so important for MMORPGs as a genre, as a whole, and why it's so important, I mean just ridiculously vital, to bringing this genre back to the core, back to the community, back to socialization in our video games, and all that kind of thing. Before I get started, guys, please consider subscribing. Drop me a like down below. It really helps me in this massive maze we know as the YouTube algorithm. And let's begin. Alright, guys, so here's the deal. Classic World of Warcraft, alright, is okay, so it's not exactly what a lot of fans wanted. It has phasing. In other words, when you're out in the world, there is phasing that made a lot of people mad. There's a lot of other various things people did not like. The low server count, all kinds of various things, okay? And I get it, and I'm not here to debate that. But what I will say is that we are getting a classic type experience. Is it exactly like it was back then? No. And you know what? It'd be silly for them to try to exactly replicate it because it's 2019. So I'm not even going to say some of their decisions I don't understand. I'm not saying I agree with them, but we are getting a classic MMO. And by classic, I mean back in those golden, beautiful days. Back when MMOs were all about meeting people, socializing, working together to get stuff done, learning your class, having to be good at your class, feeling the peer pressure when you're around other people and you have to perform, you have to tank, you have to heal, you have to post big numbers on DPS, and you got nervous at first, like, I don't know if I'm good enough for this. All that kind of feeling that was so good and made those old MMOs so memorable to so many of us. And the thing is, World of Warcraft right now, it is still the king. It's still got the most subscribers, the most concurrent user base, logging in every day. There are some who are threatening to topple it, but none have, and I don't know if they ever will. And that's okay. But current live World of Warcraft is a whole different beast than it was when it launched. It has become a completely, for better or for worse, I'm gonna go with worse, it has become a solo experience, something you do not even need other people to enjoy the game. Some say that's awesome, and that's what they want, and apparently enough people feel that way for it to have these big numbers. However, there is a large portion of people who maybe are still even subscribed and still play World of Warcraft that want to go back to the older days. They want to go back to the classic feel. They want to need other people. They want the game to be more of a challenge, and that's just not possible with the way that the game is right now. Classic is bringing a lot of that back. Okay, so I played a little bit in the beta, you know, before the game came out. Just try it out, just see what was going on. And there was people grouping. I got several invites from random people. I did not use my name as the Nathan Napalm. I'm not famous anyway, but I didn't use it. I was just some random name character. I got invites, I joined groups, I had a real classic feeling, and that's when I was like, you know what, I'm gonna play this game. I am gonna play Classic WoW, because besides going to emulated servers of older games, there's not a huge popular option on the market right now besides Classic WoW. These people playing Classic World of Warcraft, right? The people who are playing, that were playing in the beta and who are going to play at launch, a lot of these people come from, what do you know, World of Warcraft regular live server, and yet when they get on Classic WoW, they're behaving so differently. Now, there's a story you can look up the video online on YouTube where people are literally standing and queuing up to kill a named mob, something for a quest. And of course, he respawns fairly quickly, but you know, instead of everybody fighting over it and just whoever clicks it and gets it first wins, they were queuing up. Now, this is the World of Warcraft crowd. This isn't the Pantheon Rise of the Fallen crowd. I mean, some of them might be looking forward to it, etc., okay? I'm not denying that. But for the majority, these are World of Warcraft players, and they, as a community whole, have gotten a bad reputation for a long time, okay? As being antisocial and trolls and rude and, you know, insert negativity here, and it has generally went to a World of Warcraft crowd. But these are the same people who are now behaving so differently. Okay? These weren't bad people. These weren't horrible human beings just because they play World of Warcraft, right? Let's be serious. These are regular people. Are there trolls? Sure. There's going to be trolls in every game. Are there horrible people in their MMO? Sure. In any MMO, there's going to be horrible people. But what I'm trying to point out here is that how quickly, in beta, the game's not even out yet. We don't even get to keep these characters, okay? They're going to reset, and we're going to all start over. We all know that. And we're already seeing behavior that is different. And I've been preaching this for a long time, that when the systems of the game are developed in such a way that it rewards challenge and risk and reward, and it focuses on community and grouping and working together, class identity, and all these kind of things, that it changes the game. It changes you. It changes the way you act and behave, okay? For example, in World of Warcraft right now, if you were to log onto the live server, regular server, not the classic, which you can't log into it at the time it's recording, but if you were to log into it, and you were to just start running around and leveling up, start all over at level 1, guess what? You would behave differently. You will absolutely behave differently in that game than you will in when Pantheon Rise of Fallen were to come out, for example. Because in Pantheon Rise of Fallen, you realize it's this long journey, okay? And it's all about the journey. And it's hard, and it's difficult, and you know that before you even start. The mechanics and the world and the way the game plays are different, but you are still the same person. However, you, in World of Warcraft, the edition out right now, live, will just be running quest hub to quest hub, grabbing every quest, running around, knocking them out, coming back, turn them all in, rinse and repeat, all the way to max level. That's what you would do. Because that's the way the game was built. That's the way the systems are set up for you to level up the fastest, and then dungeon runs and all these kind of things to make the XP come faster, because that's the way the game is designed to be. However, Classic is not designed that way. Therefore, you and everyone else were behaving differently. Now we're grouping up. Now we're yelling out for groups. We're yelling out. We're taking turns. We're lining up. I mean, they formed a queue line without any direction, without any boss or leader or anybody telling them what to do. This was a system they came up with. And I know if you played MMOs as long as I have, you've seen this before in MMOs, especially when they first launch and everybody's in the starter zone. You know what I mean? It's just a mess. And I've seen this in so many MMOs. I saw it in Final Fantasy 14 Reborn. I've seen it in a ton. I've seen people work together to overcome bugs, all that kind of thing. But the point I'm trying to make here is that this is the beginning of how this return to the glory days of MMORPGs could be coming. I'm not going to guarantee it, okay? I can't, because I don't know what's going to happen exactly. But I do know that there's people out there, such as Visionary Realms, who are trying to bring back a true challenge, all right? If you think World of Warcraft Classic is hard, okay, and I agree with you, it was much more difficult than current WoW by far. I would not argue with that. However, it was considered easier at that time than most MMOs out on the market. And I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings, but that is just a fact. I was a grown man at the time of World of Warcraft launching. I remember it. I can promise you that games like EverQuest, games like Dark Age of Camelot, games like Final Fantasy XI were much harder to progress, level up, etc. Okay? Now you want to talk about raids and this and that, well, that's a different subject, and I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the journey itself to max level, even in the actual vanilla WoW days, was much easier than many MMOs out on the market, and that's just a fact. I am sorry if that hurts your feelings, but it just is true, okay? But it was still a challenge, okay? It wasn't so easy that you could base roll there, okay? Like you can right now, in my opinion, in World of Warcraft Live. I just don't think you need any skill. You can literally almost auto-attack your way through. To a lot of people, this is introducing them back to those glory days. And guess what will happen? Guess what's going to happen? They're going to get so addicted, guys. This is going to catch on fire. Blizzard isn't taking it serious enough, because this is going to be huge. Because there's a lot of people who look back and they're like, oh my gosh, back to the classic days of World of Warcraft in its prime, when it was at its best. I'm all over it. I can't wait. And they're dying to play, and the servers are literally filling up right now. They've already had to open another server. They're going to have to open many more. Let me just go ahead and say that. They're going to have to. But those people already know how good MMOs used to be. But here's the kicker. What about, I mean, World of Warcraft's been out for over 15 years, if my math is correct. What about all the people who joined way beyond that point? What about the people who joined World of Warcraft after Wrath of the Lich King and love it, like it, maybe have some problems with it, maybe they don't, but they weren't there for the launch of World of Warcraft at all. Like they were too young, or they didn't care about MMOs at that time. Whatever the case may be, what about all of them? We're talking about millions of people. We're talking about a lot of people, and they're going to get just as addicted because this formula of MMOs, of working together, socializing, planning, consequences to your actions, these things create community and create memories. And guess what? When you have memories attached to a game, that's where it really sticks. That's when the game really just starts coming out of your pores. That's when it's serious, okay? And that's going to happen to a ton of new people to this classic type experience that haven't had it before. And it's so much more addicting than the current grind, like this kind of carrot on the stick for a really quick rewards over and over and over and over until they're meaningless. When you work for it and you earn it and it's a big deal, then that's addiction. That's when it gets really good. And we got millions of people are going to be doing that. And the point I'm trying to make here is that those people, these millions of people, are going to set the pace for the future of the MMORPG space for a while. Not to mention the other developers, publishers, game heads, all these kind of people are going to be seeing how well World of Warcraft Classic is received, and with a little luck, with a little brain power, they may start pushing for better experiences, for more socialized MMOs, instead of pushing for it to be even more single player or automated now. Now we're getting to a point where they want to make automated MMOs where literally it plays itself. I mean, what is going on? What is happening? That's where the MMO market started to go. So Classic WoW is a big deal for the entire genre. Brad McQuaid, the creative director of Pantheon Rise of Fallen, the guy who made EverQuest, the guy who made Vanguard, the MMORPG father, says that this game is important to him and to the MMORPG space, and it validates what they started when they began working on Pantheon Rise of Fallen, as it is something people want, something people crave, and it is a market worth pursuing. So that, guys, is why World of Warcraft is so important. World of Warcraft Classic is so important to the MMO space. If anybody, here's the deal, World of Warcraft is blamed, rightfully so, for being the MMO that made MMOs suck. Okay, by making it easier, by making it soloable, by the looking for group, by the instances, etc., right? It's been blamed for everything. Wouldn't it be interesting if the same game that ruined MMOs, so to say, saves the MMOs? Would that not be one for the history books? And I hope I explained this well enough for you to see that that is what it looks like is going to happen. It's crazy, but that's what it looks like exactly is going to happen, and that is insane. That is awesome. And Pantheon Rise of Fallen, of course, is always going to be my love, but I will be playing Classic WoW. I'm going to be there for it. I'm going to be out there preaching the good word of Pantheon Rise of Fallen, telling people about it, bringing people over, getting them hyped about Pantheon, and building our community. That's what I'm going to be doing in World of Warcraft, and also playing the game, of course. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video today, and don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to drop me a like. That really helps. And leave a comment down below if you agree with me, if you understood, if you think I went off the wall and this doesn't make any sense. Whatever you think, let me know in the comments down below. And until next time, guys, God bless and happy gaming. Please listen to what I say. I've been making videos all day. My friends all say I'm it's a video buffet. You can even hit replay. But please just subscribe. I can't even describe being part of my tribe. I'll even offer you a prize. But just please just subscribe and and hit the bell notification to